The tape loop method on top loaders is a really important trick to pick up if you're selling Flesh and Blood TCG cards or any TCG cards because it increases customer satisfaction and reduces the chance that they're going to damage their cards upon opening from the top loader. And I want to make a quick update video on how to do this and really go into the reason why you do it because I've been receiving a couple of cards, singles that I've been ordering online for Flesh and Blood, and I haven't really seen this method used too much, and I think it would really increase customer satisfaction if you were purchasing these, or if you're selling these cards out, you can start doing this trick. Now essentially what is it's very simple. Basically you just do a simple loop back on the tape on the top of the top loaders when you're selling cards. So this is a Sledge of Anvilheim, and on the back you can see it has this little pull tab, and essentially what this allows you to do is you pull this thing right here and the tape's completely off. And you can see that there's no residual at all and it's all easy. Whereas if you don't do that loop on the top, you can see here that there is a residue tape. It's hard to get this tape off. And I'm going to go into the method of how you do it, and I'm going to compare both methods. But essentially, if you just tape this from one side to the next and you don't do that loop, it really is tough as a consumer to get that tape off, and it makes it so you can't reuse the top loader. It's just not as much of a great experience. Whereas if you do this little simple trick of putting a loop on it, it makes it so much easier as a consumer to open the card, and it prevents me from accidentally damaging the card, which I'm very very likely to do because I'm not very careful. Now let me put the screen down and I'll show you exactly how to do this loop on the tape for the top loaders. I can compare when you don't do a loop to a loop. So I'm going to move the screen down. See this nice little playmat. So here are the cards that I have. So I have a Crazy Brew and a Time Snap Potion. So I'm going to do the normal method where you don't do the loop on the Time Snap, and we'll see how that turns out. So I'm going to get a piece of tape like this. And the normal method that I see a lot is people just do it very simply where they get from one side to the next. Bam, done. And you might say, wow, that was easy. And I feel like a lot of people think that, and this is always used. So, but the hard part is trying to take this off, and I'll go through that in a sec. So now I'm going to use the loop method on the Crazy Brew. So you do the same thing where you get a certain amount of tape. Usually this is enough right here. Maybe 2 inches, let's say. So what you do is from the front of the card or the back, you put the initial piece of tape on, and then you put it to the back like this, but you don't push it down all the way. You keep a little bit here, you go halfway, and then you double back on top of itself. And when you double back on top of itself, you can see you have this little tab right here. And it works out great because up here, this is securely fastening it, and this is securely fastening here. So it's securely fastened, but you also have this nice little pull tab here. I'm not going to go into the tape in this video, but there's a bunch of different arguments for what tape to use. I'm currently using just normal Scotch tape, and it seems like a lot of the orders that I have been purchasing use Scotch tape, but yeah, that's basically how you do the loop. You can do the loop on any sort of tape, so that really doesn't matter, but the loop is what I'm talking about here. So let's go into trying to open both of these cards. So I'm a buyer. I bought this Time Snap Potion off someone. How do I get this off? Well, there's really no good entry point here. So as a consumer, you really have to pick at it with your thumbnail. But as you're putting pressure, I'm worried about damaging the card because when you're pushing, you're bending the card down. So I'm going to honestly try to do this. And you see how the tape's going like weird ways? And I'm pretty skilled at doing this after so many times. But okay, it took me a lot of effort to like do that. And that gets it off. But normally, you're not very good at that, and there's a lot of residue. It's not a good feeling, man. And to give you a perspective, this is what usually happens. Once the tape has been on there for a very good amount of time, it gets heated in there and it's hard to get off as easy, whereas this one was a little harder. And you end up with like tapes on both sides. It's just not a really good user experience, especially that I had to really pick at it like this. Now, when we're looking at the loop method, which is what I'm talking about, is you have this really nice pull tab, and look at how easy it is as a buyer. I just pull it like this and pull it like this. I didn't have to do anything. Look, it came off perfectly. That means as a consumer, I can reuse this top loader for anything that I want, and it's great for my collection. And I didn't have to put any force like this to get off the tape. It was a very easy way to get off this tape. Literally use the same amount of tape in both methods. So overall, I just wanted to wrap up. I want to make this as a quick video, and I wanted to make this because as a buyer, I've purchased a lot of Flesh and Blood cards as singles, and haven't really seen this method used at all. I think maybe once out of maybe 15 single purchases have I seen this method used, and I think it's a really important method because literally it's very simple to do. Just do the little simple loop, and it will increase your customer satisfaction by a lot. It's hard because a lot of times you don't get that feedback, but man, I'm telling you, your customers will be very happy with this, and please spread the word as much as you want with this because it's a really important thing that if you've been in the TCG selling community for a while, everyone thinks this is second nature, this is known, but I feel that as more people try to sell cards by themselves, this is a little trick that people really need to adopt because it's really nice as a consumer. I'm very happy when I see this being used. Again, yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope this was useful information. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, guys.